There is a truth that most men never face. When a woman distances herself, it is never just about her. It is about you, your energy, your presence, your essence. Carl Jung taught that the anima, the feminine aspect of a man's psyche, is a mirror reflecting his inner world. If a man loses himself, if he neglects his own purpose, the anima withdraws. She pulls back, not as a punishment, but as a signal. You are not whole yet. The first principle every man must understand is self-mastery over desperation. When a woman pulls away, most men panic. They call, they text, they try to explain themselves, but desperation is visible. It leaks through your words, your actions, and even your silence. The Stoics warned us centuries ago, he who is brave is free. Freedom is not found in chasing approval. Freedom is found in standing firm, rooted in purpose, and unmoved by external validation. Many men fail here because they forget the essence of respect, respect for her space and for themselves. To chase a woman when she distances herself is to violate both. You are signaling that your sense of worth depends on her presence, when in truth, your worth is determined by your integrity, your discipline, and your commitment to your path. Consider this. The Bible reminds us, a man's gift makes room for him and brings him before the great, Proverbs 18:16. What does this mean in practice? It means that when you focus on growth, when you expand your mind, body, and soul, you naturally draw people toward you. You do not chase, you magnetize. You do not beg, you command respect through presence. Another critical point is emotional composure. Jung emphasized that projection is dangerous. If you project your fear of rejection onto her behavior, you will interpret her distance as hostility or punishment. This is false. Her distance is simply a reflection of a dynamic you have not yet mastered within yourself. The Stoics would call this the recognition of what is in your control and what is not. Her feelings, her timing, her choices, these are outside your control. Your discipline, your growth, your mindset, these are fully within it. When a woman ignores you, the dark mind of a man may whisper, she doesn't care. She is leaving. You failed. This is the shadow speaking, not reality. The shadow thrives on fear, on self-pity, and on avoidance of responsibility. A man of character responds differently. He sees the challenge, he evaluates his own actions, and he focuses on becoming unshakable. The first actionable step is self-reflection over reaction. Do not run after her. Do not plead or explain. Instead, ask yourself, am I grounded in purpose or am I clinging to comfort? Do I act from strength or from fear? Am I evolving or am I stagnating? By confronting these questions honestly, you turn a moment of rejection into a moment of growth. You convert the pain of distance into the power of self-mastery. The Stoics called this the art of transformation through obstacle. Jung would say that integrating your shadow is the path to becoming whole. And Scripture affirms that God uses trials to refine character. Consider it pure joy when you face trials of many kinds, because the testing of your faith produces perseverance, James 1:2-3. And here is the subtle truth most men overlook. Absence creates value, not as a trick, not as manipulation, but as natural consequence. When you retreat into your purpose, when you cultivate your mind, body, and spirit, you become a man whose presence is compelling. You are no longer chasing her attention. Her attention is drawn to your mastery. If you understand this principle, comment below, I choose self-mastery over desperation. Let this be the first step in turning rejection into transformation. In the next part, we will uncover the mindset shifts and strategic actions a man must take when a woman distances herself, without compromising his integrity or surrendering his purpose. Stay with me, because what comes next will reveal the psychology behind attraction, respect, and true masculine strength. When a woman distances herself, most men react with panic. But panic is the voice of the untrained mind, the shadow speaking. Carl Jung taught that every withdrawal is a mirror. It reflects your own incompleteness, your lack of self-mastery, and the areas where your psyche has yet to integrate strength, discipline, and emotional intelligence. The first truth is this: you cannot control her actions, but you can control yourself. This is the core principle of Stoicism. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Her distance is not an attack, it is a signal, and how you respond reveals whether you are a man of character or a man enslaved by fear. One mistake men constantly make is over-explaining or over-justifying. They believe that words can repair presence, that explanations can restore attraction. But attraction is not built on words. It is built on energy, consistency, and integrity. When she pulls away, your words are meaningless if your presence is weak, scattered, or desperate. A man who speaks from desperation is no longer speaking from strength. Another critical principle is focus on self-elevation, not persuasion. Stoics teach that your task is to cultivate virtue, wisdom, and purpose. When a woman distances herself, this is your opportunity to invest in your mind, body, and spirit. Train harder, read deeper, work smarter, pursue your mission. Growth is magnetic. A man who evolves naturally draws respect and attention. Chasing only breeds dependency and weakness. Jung called this the integration of the shadow. Confronting your fears of rejection, your insecurities, and your need for validation, and transforming them into strength. Avoidance and manipulation are the habits of men who have yet to claim their wholeness. Emotional composure is another pillar. Do not react with anger, jealousy, or frustration. Anger signals attachment to outcomes outside your control. Frustration signals dependence on validation. A man anchored in purpose remains calm. He knows that her distance is temporary and that what matters most is his alignment with higher principles. Consider the wisdom of Scripture. A man of understanding remains calm in the face of adversity. Proverbs 29:11. Her withdrawal is a test, not of her loyalty, but of your resilience, integrity, and clarity of mind. Now here is a subtle yet profound truth. Absence amplifies value when paired with growth. Not as a game, not as a manipulation, but as a natural law. By stepping into your own purpose, you become less dependent on her approval. This independence transforms attraction into respect. This is not ego, it is mastery. At this point, reflection becomes action. Ask yourself, am I anchored in purpose or am I tethered to her attention? Am I acting from strength or from fear of loss? Am I growing or stagnating in comfort and distraction? Your answers dictate your next move. Remember, every moment of distance is a mirror. How you choose to respond will either strengthen your character or reveal its weaknesses. If this resonates, comment below. I choose strength and independence. Let this be your commitment to rise above emotional dependency and embrace true masculine mastery. In the next part, we will explore the exact mindset shifts and strategic behaviors that not only restore attraction, but build enduring respect, grounded in philosophy, psychology, and timeless wisdom. There comes a moment when distance is no longer a question of her feelings, but a test of your essence. Many men fail to realize that when a woman withdraws, she is not punishing, she is revealing. She reveals what you have neglected in yourself. Jung would argue that this withdrawal is an invitation to confront the shadow, the hidden layers of fear, insecurity, and neediness that you refuse to face. To ignore this is to remain in darkness, chasing illusions rather than embracing truth. The Stoics remind us that the only thing within our control is our own character, our own response. Her distance does not diminish your value. It exposes where you have yet to master yourself. A man's reaction in this moment defines him. To chase, to plead, to over-explain is to surrender power. The true path is to remain anchored, cultivating strength in silence. Emotional composure is the silent language of mastery. When a man remains unshaken by her withdrawal, he communicates, more through his presence than through words. Words may appeal, but presence commands, and presence rooted in discipline, purpose, and self-mastery is magnetic. She senses it instinctively, as Jung would say, because it resonates with the archetype of a man whole and integrated. It is not enough to merely abstain from reaction. One must actively cultivate growth. Every moment she pulls away is an opportunity to sharpen the mind, fortify the body, and elevate the spirit. Reading, exercising, pursuing goals, and engaging in meaningful work are not distractions from love. They are the very foundation upon which respect and attraction are built. The Stoics spoke of obstacles as the instruments of virtue. Her distance is an obstacle, and how you use it determines whether you emerge stronger or weaker. Yet many men misinterpret withdrawal as rejection rather than a mirror reflecting their own incompleteness. Projection is the enemy here. Jung emphasized that when you project your anxieties onto another, you surrender your reality to chaos. To internalize blame, to spiral into self-doubt, is to fall into the shadow's trap. A man must recognize that the energy he invests in fear and desperation is the very energy that could be invested in growth, purpose, and discipline. The sacred teachings of Scripture affirm this principle. Do not be anxious about anything, but in everything, by prayer and supplication, with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God. Philippians 4:6. Worrying over her attention, chasing validation, or manipulating outcomes is a form of idolatry, placing her presence above God's design for your life. True mastery lies in surrendering to purpose, not circumstance. There is also the subtle power of absence. When a man steps fully into his own life, when he becomes unavailable in the right way, he creates an invisible force. This is not manipulation. It is the natural consequence of living with integrity and vision. Attraction follows energy, not words. Respect is drawn to consistency, strength, and self-mastery. The man who uses absence wisely does so not to punish, but to embody value and presence that cannot be ignored. Every action, every moment of composure, every silent hour spent improving oneself is a message more powerful than any apology or explanation. She observes without realizing, drawn by the gravity of a man who cannot be shaken by distance. This is the paradox. The more you release attachment, the more you become magnetic. The more you honor her space without surrendering your essence, the more she is unconsciously drawn to the man you are becoming. If you understand this principle, comment below. I choose growth over attachment. Let this commitment be a declaration that you will not allow absence to diminish your purpose, that you will meet withdrawal not with panic but with power, not with fear but with composure. In the final part, we will reveal the ultimate mindset, shifts and subtle strategies that transform distance into respect, withdrawal into connection, and uncertainty into enduring attraction. Stay until the end, because what comes next will challenge everything you thought you knew about relationships, self-mastery, and masculine power. At last, we arrive at the point where understanding transforms into action. When a woman distances herself, a man of wisdom recognizes that the solution is never found in her, but in himself. Carl Jung taught that the path to wholeness requires facing the shadow, the aspects of our character we fear, deny, or suppress. Every withdrawal is a reflection of areas in need of growth. To ignore this is to remain enslaved to desire, to live in chaos rather than mastery. The ultimate principle is inner sovereignty. A man who has cultivated purpose, discipline, and emotional composure cannot be shaken by absence or silence. He does not plead, he does not manipulate, he does not seek validation. Instead, he channels energy into creation, improvement, and vision. Stoicism emphasizes the mastery of self over circumstance. Marco Aurelio wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Her distance is an outside event. How you respond defines you. Many men fail because they confuse presence with possession. Attraction is not about clinging, it is about value. A man who chases becomes weak. A man who stands unwavering becomes magnetic. True masculine strength lies in patience, in the cultivation of integrity, and in the quiet power of self-mastery. This is not ego. It is alignment with timeless principles of psychology, philosophy, and divinity. Another essential truth is purpose over preoccupation. When a woman ignores, a man who clings squanders energy on fear, jealousy, and doubt. A man anchored in purpose redirects focus to personal growth. He trains his body, sharpens his mind, and deepens his spirit. Every moment invested in self-mastery multiplies attraction. The Stoics would call this living in accordance with nature, fulfilling the role of a man designed to evolve, to lead, and to embody virtue. Scripture reinforces this principle. Commit to the Lord whatever you do, and your plans will succeed, Proverbs 16:3. When a man devotes himself to growth, discipline, and vision, he aligns with divine order. Her withdrawal is not a rejection, but an opportunity to strengthen alignment with higher purpose. Every step toward self-mastery is a step toward magnetic presence and enduring respect. And here is the paradox. The more a man embodies independence and self-respect, the more natural the connection becomes. Withdrawal, distance, and silence are tests, not punishments. Respond with growth, composure, and alignment. Let her distance reflect not a loss of power, but a call to refine it. The man who answers this call transforms absence into attraction, silence into respect, and uncertainty into mastery. Now let us address the practical application. Do not overthink. Do not react impulsively. Focus on your daily disciplines, on intellectual and spiritual expansion, on emotional composure, and on unwavering purpose. These are the silent actions that communicate value more powerfully than any words. In moments of distance, your growth is your message. Your composure is your magnet. Your presence, unshakable, is your authority. If you have listened and absorbed this, declare it now. I choose self-mastery over fear, purpose over desperation, growth over attachment. Let this declaration guide your every action. Her withdrawal is no longer a source of anxiety. It is a mirror reflecting the strength you have cultivated. Every step toward mastery transforms the challenge into opportunity, fear into wisdom, and distance into connection. In the end, remember this: a man who is anchored in purpose, disciplined in mind and body, and aligned with higher principles, cannot be shaken by absence or indifference. He embodies Carl Jung's vision of integration, the Stoic ideal of resilience, and the biblical call to honor, patience, and self-mastery. The power was never in controlling her, it was in mastering yourself. This is the truth few men understand. Your growth is your attraction, your composure is your magnet, and your purpose is your power. Step into it. Live it. Let every challenge, every distance, every silence refine you into the man you were created to be.